Welcome back to Social Slugfest, guys, and the Misfits cards are flying. We've already got the next one in the books, and it's an exciting one because it's got Hasim Rahman Jr., the guy that Jake Paul was meant to take on, versus Vitor Belfort, an ex-UFC fighter, and it's also got the return of Jay Swingler on the card, which is going to be very, very exciting. But I'm not here to talk about that card. I'm here to talk about a potential card that might be in the works, and if this card happens, I think it might even be bigger than the last Misfits card. So, after the KSI event, there was a little bit of tweeting going on. A guy called JiDion, who I'm guessing a lot of you guys know if you follow the whole YouTube world, called out Joe Weller. So Joe Weller had that little outburst that we saw at the weigh-ins of the KSI fight, and I think JiDion wants some of that smoke, basically. So JiDion has called him out, and then KSI responded saying, how about a prime squad card next year, early next year? So that's something that might be in the works. And another guy has also chipped in. Part of the prime squad is Logan Paul, and I think since the obviously fight against Mayweather, he's been itching to get back into the ring, and he's got a target in mind. That's DILLON Danis. We know DILLON Danis, well, a lot of people probably know DILLON Danis as being a troll on Twitter, but first and foremost, he's a very highly skilled jiu-jitsu martial artist, and he has fought in Bellator as well twice. He's suffered from injuries, he's been out quite a long time, but that hasn't stopped him tweeting and keeping himself relevant the whole time. And the two guys that he's gone after a lot is Logan Paul and Jake Paul. So I think Logan really wants to get his hands on him. So those are two potential fights. Then obviously if you have KSI talking about fighting maybe Tommy Fury, maybe fighting Andrew Tate, Slim, Salt Pappy, he's got a lot of options himself. So this card could be absolutely humongous. So JiDion also tweeted a picture of himself, obviously not being in the best shape, but said, give me some time, let me get in shape for this, and the next time you'll see me with my shirt off will be at the weigh-ins, and you'll be shocked by the transformation that I've made. JiDion's obviously looking to make a transformation. Joe Weller is looking absolutely wedged right now. He looks massive. He's up for fighting in a car park, but I don't know if he's up for getting back into the boxing ring. I know obviously Joe Weller's kind of been saying he's focusing on music. He's been teasing a couple of songs that are going to be coming out in the future. And he has previously kind of said the only guy that he'd really want to get back in there is for his Deji. So I don't know whether he takes a JiDion fight. JiDion's obviously very inexperienced. Joe Weller obviously had that one camp years and years ago for KSI. I don't know how much boxing training, if any, that he's done. But it's a fight that obviously would intrigue people, and because there's that bad blood with KSI in the past, and this guy's obviously helping KSI promote his new sports drink as well. So there's definitely a storyline there that could be made. More exciting for me is the fact that Logan Paul wants a bit of DILLON Danis. DILLON Danis isn't known for his striking. He's a very, very good grappler. I think he's won gold at a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments up until maybe purple or brown belt. I'm not 100% sure, but then he kind of transitioned to MMA once he was a black belt. He's obviously known for helping Conor prepare for the Nate Diaz 2 fight, and yeah, it would be interesting to see DILLON Danis getting back into combat sports. He's had a very long layoff. I think he had a very serious knee injury that he had an operation on. The operation didn't work, and then he had to get reoperated on. So it's definitely been tough for him. Logan Paul, I think since the Floyd Mayweather fight, he's been doing different things. He's obviously got Prime, he's got his 99 Originals thing that he's been doing as well, and obviously collecting Pokemon cards. So I think he has actually been training a little bit with Jake. I think they've got a kind of a house down in Puerto Rico, so I'm assuming he would have had some involvement within Jake's training camps. So I think Logan Paul is probably definitely the more active of the two fighters, but DILLON Danis seems up for it. Whether he's trolling or not, that's the issue. I think a lot of people would like to see this fight, mainly kind of to see DILLON Danis get humbled, because some of the shit he says online is absolutely ridiculous. But nonetheless, very, very exciting fight. And finally, you would have, I believe, a massive fight between KSI and either Slim, who got a very devastating knockout against FaZe Temper on the card. There's also the option of Andrew Tate, which is being discussed. I don't know what's going to be the situation with Andrew Tate by then. Obviously, he's been deplatformed. And then you've also got the Tommy Fury fight. Imagine if KSI takes that fight that Jake Paul's wanted for ages, and then he goes in there and puts his hands on Tommy Fury. That would be absolutely mental. We know that KSI trains at Shoot Fighters in London. He's obviously had some involvement there with Derek Chisora, and in one of the interviews after the KSI fight, Derek Chisora actually said that KSI would smoke Tommy Fury. Well, I'm not too sure about that. I don't know whether he's just saying that because obviously him and Tyson have had the whole thing going on recently, but it's a fight that would bring a lot of intrigue, and especially after KSI's last fight against a professional boxer, I think Tommy Fury's more credible. Whew. That was quick, but that was a whistle-stop tour of what we might be looking forward to early next year. And I think that if he gets through that fight against somebody more credible, Jake Paul gets through the Anderson Silva fight, we are in for a huge fight when it comes to Jake Paul and KSI. And I think it will do crazy pay-per-view numbers as well as have a mental gate. They could probably sell out. They're definitely sell out O2, so it's looking like it'd have to be a stadium at this point because the O2 just wasn't big enough for KSI. But yeah, that's it from me. That's one card that would be absolutely mental, the Prime Squad card, and I think it would do mental numbers. So that's something that could be in the works. I'll keep you updated on that if I hear anything more. But if you're enjoying these videos, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the news in the YouTube world. And yeah, peace.